Well, I think the black signal went out. I'm sending it out. But anyway, I'm just trying to make sure people know. Feel free to join the conversation. Join the conversation. Channels on. Boom, 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 boom. All right. Okay. I'm going to get out of this. Oh, well, I'm going to just refresh. See if that works. Refresh that. All right, y'all ready? Oh, the black signal has just went out. All right. It's 9:35, family. I'm running late. Call lines is open. There we go. Sent it out. Let's see how we doing as far as the stream. What's up? Somebody's out there. Who else is out there? Anybody out there? All right, we streaming. We up on Periscope. We up on both Facebook pages right now. It looks like. Keyframe interval look good. All right, we still haven't reached YouTube yet, but it's all good. The text message went out. So, family, let's get this started. So we gonna have rapid taste, chop this up, talk about it. Let's go and get our. Time to come on in.
Peace, this is our team, and you have joined us in Gye-Nyame Journey, GyeNyameJourney.com. All you need. Let us pray.
Come on in, let me know y'all here.
It's that morning, bro. All the foundation of the out of court. I see it in your lives. And all of you are serving the Most High. That you shall die.
Alright, family, to thank you for joining us at the Congregation of the Mighty. This is Gye-Nyame Journey Media. Of course, you know this is folks. And of course, you know this is a Heart of a Simple production. Where we strive. All right. So the chat is open. I don't see that many people in there. The phone lines are open. For those that can't get that, it's 614-556-4. Call-in number is 614-556-4535. We strive to keep everything open. Family, listen. Let me stress, you do not have to agree with me. You know what I'm saying? We all have our different views, but Gye-Nyame Journey is here to, one, stimulate some thought. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of stuff going on that I think we need to be discussing, and I know that we need to be thinking about. One of the things that's been bothering me is that people been sending texts around talking about not a Republican ticket, but a ticket that basically fits our needs. Who are the politicians that we should be voting for when we go out? Who should we be voting for? Very plain and simple. As a group, and not even that we all have to agree, but a select group of us need to go about putting together tickets so that when we go to the polls, we know who to vote for. We know who to vote for. Now, I'm not just talking about no Democrat. I mean, because we got to get out of the mind state of just voting for one party. We need to vote for our interest. Our interest. Period. Somebody on the line. Who on the
line? Lady J.
Why you say, come on now. You know your name. What's up, Lady J? How you doing tonight?
I'll be better if you not start with me.
If I ain't start with you, girl, please. All right, how we gonna have a show if me and you ain't falling out? But now, family, I want to welcome everyone in once again. Call lines are open, 614-556-4535. If you have the black signal, the number is on the black signal. Don't be scared. Click it and join the conversation. So now, what we are going to do tonight, we are going to break down one now, because we can no longer afford to vote as individuals. We need to be voting as groups. So those of us that say that we are conscious, we need to have a ticket. If we go into the booth, we need to have a ticket so that when we go in, just like the Democrats and Republicans, we got, all right, boom, such and such. These policies, they stand on these policies, boom, we can hold them accountable for that. Click. You know what I'm saying? This issue 1 or issue 2 or issue 3, click. You know what I'm saying? We need to vote for those things that work for us. We need to start being more effective. What we have, girl, are you wrestling a muskrat? What is going on in the background?
I'm sorry.
So here we go. Here is the folktale. This is a long one. So let me drink another thing of water because this is... And I had to be late on the day. I got the longest folktale I have. This is a long folktale. Father Townsend. I got it from Forgotten Books. We are on page 293. Man, how many years have we been doing this? Award any person who invented a new amusement for the occasion. Various buffoons. Among them came a buffoon, well known among the populace for his jokes, and said that he had a kind of entertainment which had never been brought out on any stage before. This report being spread about made a great stir, and the theater was crowded in every part. The buffoon appeared alone upon the platform, without any apparatus or confederates, and the very sense of expectation caused an intense silence. He suddenly bent his head towards his bosom and imitated the squeaking of a little pig so admirably with his voice that the audience declared he had a porker under his cloak, and demanded that it should be shaken out. When that was done and nothing was found, they cheered the actor and loaded him with the loudest applause. A countryman in the crowd, observing all that has passed, said, "So help me, Hercules, he shall not beat me at that trick," and at once proclaimed that he would do the same thing on the next day, though in a much more natural way. On the morrow, or the next day, a still larger crowd assembled in the theater, but now partially for their favorite actor very generally prevailed, and the audience came rather to ridicule the countryman than to see the spectacle. Both of the performers appeared on stage. The buffoon grunted and squeaked away first, and obtained, as on the preceding day, the applause and the cheers of the spectators. Next, the countryman commenced, and pretending that he concealed a little pig beneath his clothes, which in truth he did but not suspected by the audience, contrived to take hold and to pull his ears, causing the pig to squeak. The crowd, however, cried out with one consent that the buffoon had given a far more exact imitation, and clamored for the countryman to be kicked out of the theater. On this, the rustic produced the little pig from his cloak and showed by the most positive proof the greatness of their mistake. "Look here," he said, this shows what sort of judges you are." Long, but we're going to pull a lesson up out of this like we pulling teeth. Somebody else came up on the line? Who else on the line? Who else out there?
Yo! It's Quasi Low.
What's up, Quasi? We about to hit it. We about to hit it. Did you hear that? Did y'all hear the folktale? Do I need to read that long ass folktale again? I'm so used to it.
I heard it. I think I clicked in as soon as you started.
Cool.
And I was actually wondering what the inspiration of it was. I was wondering if you chose to do that particular one based off of the Conor McGregor.
Hear it again.
Oh, crap.
So now, but let me be clear. I don't pick them. I've been going in order since the beginning.
Well, that timing is impeccable.
Exactly. That's how they come out. But listen, here we go. A rich nobleman once opened the theaters without charge to the people, and gave a public notice that he would handsomely reward any person who invented a new amusement for the occasion. Various public performers contended for the prize. Among them came a buffoon, well known among the populace for his jokes, and said that he had a kind of entertainment which had never been brought out on stage before. This report being spread about made a great stir, and the theater was crowded in every part. The buffoon appeared alone upon the platform without any apparatus or confederates, and the very sense of expectation caused an intense silence. He suddenly bent his head towards his bosom and imitated the squeaking of a little pig so admirably with his voice that the audience declared he had a porker under his cloak and demanded that it should be shaken out. When that was done and nothing was found, they cheered the actor and loaded him with the loudest applause. A countryman in the crowd, observing all that had passed, said, "So help me Hercules, he shall not beat me at that trick," and at once proclaimed that he would do the same thing on the next day, though in a much more natural way. On the morrow, a still larger crowd, somebody got a pig out there? Somebody got a pig up under their cloak out there? On the morrow, a still larger crowd assembled in the theater, but now partially for their favorite actor very generally prevailed, and the audience came rather to ridicule the countryman than to see the spectacle. Both of the performers appeared on stage. The buffoon grunted and squeaked away first, and obtained, as on the preceding day, the applause and cheers of the spectators. Next, the countryman commenced, and pretending that he concealed a little pig beneath his clothes, which in truth he did, but not suspected by the audience, contrived to take hold and to pull his ears, causing the pig to squeak. The crowd, however, cried out with one consent that the buffoon had given a far more exact imitation, and clamored for the countryman to be kicked out of the theater. On this, the rustic produced the little pig from his cloak and showed by the most positive proof the greatness of their mistake. "Look here," he said, "this shows what sort of judge or judges you are." You get it, Lady J?
Yes.
All right. Who want to hit it first? Don't be shy.
I think that ultimately was being, to me, the main thing that's being talked about is how gullible the crowd is.
That's a good angle. That's a good angle. How gullible the crowd is. So,
because they was both doing the same thing.
They was both doing the same thing. And one had the pig. One actually had a pig. And he wanted to prove how stupid the crowd was. Y'all saying that this dude sounds better than a real pig. I don't understand. Help me.
I heard it. What's that noise?
I don't know what that was. I thought somebody was laughing. Might be the CIA. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Somebody thought. So you saying it's the gullibility of the crowd. Now this plays a major factor in what's going on today, because often we have been conned through the media. Lady J, this goes right into your favorite subject, propaganda, right? Propaganda can make the crowd feel that somebody imitating a pig sounds better than the actual pig. You know what I'm saying? It sounds more like a pig than the pig does himself. Because the buffoon was imitating the pig. The countryman brought
the buffoon didn't actually have. I thought he was just maybe better at concealing the actual pig.
Now, in another story,
he had a trick.
In another story, the buffoon did hide a pig. In this one, they're saying that he didn't have a pig concealed. He just made the squealing sounds. Because after he did it, they shook him down. Because they said that he couldn't be that good. So they grabbed him and they checked up under his cloak and stuff, and there was no pig there. And after that, they celebrated him. And the next day, better than his. As a matter of fact, I'm going to battle rap his ass. Actually, a squeal of a pig does sound like some of this mumble rap that's going on right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to battle rap him. So they get up on stage and the buffoon get up and do his imitation. And the man has to this. Cause this, I ain't think about it from the angle that you said, Quasi, how gullible the crowd was. He says, it says the countryman commenced and pretending that he concealed a little pig beneath his clothes, which in truth he did, but not suspected by the audience, contrived to take hold and pull the ears, causing the pig to squeal. So he walked up on stage. He pulled the pig's ears, causing the pig to squeal. So not only did he get up there, he showed them exactly what was going on. And then at the end, when they was about to throw him out, he said, this shows how good of judge of talent, how good of a judge of news, how good of a judge of truth y'all really are. I have a real pig. You saying that this buffoon over here sounds better than the pig. I don't understand. Right? This also brings up the issue of what our ancestors said. This comes from Brother Kwame this morning. Brother Kwame says, this is a lesson from the principle of being able to distinguish the real from the unreal, which is a real problem in modern times and is a real danger in modern times. And I'm going to say especially for us, because we need to start really learning how to distinguish the real from the unreal. We're that crowd. Go ahead.
One of the problems with that is people, you know that saying, the first impression is the lasting impression.
Mm-hmm.
That don't necessarily mean that you got to dress up nice to go to the interview. That also means that the first impression that somebody gets of a thing is what they think that thing is.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like somebody might taste ketchup on noodles for the first time, and then once they taste real fresh tomatoes ground up with fresh herbs and garlic, then they like, oh, this is nasty, or like this don't taste right, or this is, you see what I'm saying? Like they taste buds done already got accustomed to eating ketchup and masquerading as spaghetti sauce. You know what I mean?
That's like,
so it's like
that actually happened to me. I went to Whole Foods one day and got some they had got that orange juice squeezer. And I was with somebody and we actually tasted it. And it's like, this is nasty. This don't taste like orange juice. I say, what are you talking about? This is orange juice. See, because actually what we drinking is not really orange juice. You know what I'm saying? Is orange Frankenstein juice. Because by the time they get done processing that shit, it's really green. They got to dye that shit back orange in order for us to get it. Same thing with sugar. Our whole lives right now, we have been given false things. Like this man on stage, we've been given false goods. And the imitation has outdone what's real. So it's hard to get some of our kids to even eat real food. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like they so used to eating the processed shit, the buffoon shit. Rather than being able, they can't distinguish what's real, what's not. For example, when Bill Cosby was sentenced and went to jail, I heard people saying, see, that's what he get for drugging them women and raping those women, when in fact, that was not what he was found guilty for. Real versus fake. Same thing.
I don't know enough about that. I don't watch the news. I used to be a news junkie, but I don't know. If you kind of want to deviate to inform me as far as that.
I'm not. My piece is, that's not my forte. If somebody else want to take that, they can. Because my issue is, but when you read what he went to jail for, rape is not in there. It's not in there.
I have an example.
Go ahead. I got another one too.
So, over the weekend I was at a ball game, and I'm not sure if you saw my post, but I'm at a ball game, and this guy walks up to get water, grown man. He bends over. I'm there with my cheerleaders and their little siblings, and his whole tail is out. His pants are beneath his buttock. And so I took a picture. I showed the man. He pulled up his pants. So I waited a little bit. Then I posted it because anyone who knows me knows that I am obsessed with sagging. And so I posted it on my page, and someone who has been, I want to say he is, what is it called? Trolling me. He told me that the fact that we are basically calling what I did with regards to putting this individual on blast is what is called for sagging is what led to police officers gunning down little black boys. And he went on to say that sagging is a part of our fashion and things of this sort. And I was explaining to him that there has been not speculation but confirmation that the clothing industry actually was in on this whole sagging fiasco, and that they began to produce popular brands that sold, urban clothes. They were, it was found that they were actually making the clothes bigger. So if you went and bought a 32 pants, it would really be a 34, so it would be bigger on you. And Fat Farm by name. And so after going back and forth, of course, because I really needed the last word, I had to sit and think about the fact that we will defend, we will behave as if that was our ingenuity, as if that we came up with that style. Some people have convinced themselves of that. They have not. They are not willing to accept that this is something that has been impressed upon us, nor are they looking at what the intended consequences were. We looked at it as fashion, but it was unbeknownst to us what the intended consequence was, and that was to make our young people unrespectable, unable to be respected because they're walking around with their whole ass out. But here again, we have a situation where the wool has been pulled over our eyes, and we will defend that as girls. Children should not see men's buttocks, nor should they see the fronts, which is their growing areas, when in public places that children frequent. Instead of him agreeing, instead of him addressing the matter, because like I told him, I address more grown men about their pants than I do boys. By far. But it was just baffling. His argument, he used all that energy on that argument and accused me of basically selling my people out, right?
Who is he?
When in fact, I'm just bringing light to something that needs to be addressed.
Who is he?
In our community. I don't know him personally.
All right. Now, check this out, Lady J. You have a lot of controversial views. I don't agree with your views that often, but you know me, and so you feel that you need to go on and put your energy out to try to change how I see what you're saying. But I don't think you need to spend that much energy arguing with a motherfucker that you really don't know on Facebook about some shit. This is your opinion. It's your page. Motherfucker, get off my stream. I mean,
and I said that. I said what one would assume was that, and I say it here. I address things that affect me and my people and my community and that's where I live. But the reality of it is that all people sad. men, women, gay, straight, boys, girls, black, white, Mexican. I see them all. So whenever I posted it and I addressed it, I really, subliminally, I was speaking to people who, who I
like
frequent, right?
Who look like
but
you?
I didn't say that, huh?
You posted it for us, for our people. You intended
and
that for black people, and that was
I didn't mind addressing that, Tim, because he said what other people were thinking.
Well, you don't know that because I see the picture. As a matter of fact, I reposted that shit on Gye-Nyame Journey.
Did you? Which one did you repost?
And you had the long statement, and I posted that shit up
from the booty fetish page.
Right. My whole piece was boom. I'm like boom. And the whole piece is, I mean, sometimes, and this is sort of like this goes back to the folktale, knowing real from unreal. No real statements or statements worth arguing about, and ones that are not. Know who to argue with and who not, because sometimes
I wasn't arguing.
I'm saying, if you had a discussion, he a troll. I mean, I'm like, shit. If you say he a troll, if he a troll, then you don't even need to respond to that motherfucker. He ain't putting no money in your pocket. He ain't saving your life.
Like I said, that comment wasn't for him. It was for the other people who wanted to defend the Dumasness as well. Somebody went on there, someone I know, and said that the reason that men sag is because all the clothes in the store are too small for them.
Where the thrift store?
Europeans went from making too big clothes to now making too small clothes, so the men are having a hard time. Which is funny because it is true that that's happening for little girls. That is very true that when it comes summertime and you have a teenager or a young girl who is a little older, it is very hard to find clothes that fit them. For the last couple of years, we're getting a little better here this year. But we went into a piece where all the clothes for little girls were too small. All the shorts were short.
Well, I mean, but once again, that goes back to the strategy that you the word is not theorized, but you what's the thing before theory?
Hypothesize.
Right, you hypothesize. Because like I said, a lot of times we throw out hypothesis, and what we need to bring the receipts, bring the papers. So here's the piece. Because when people start coming at you like that, if you really want to show them up, if you really want to shut them up, show them the documentation. Period.
So one of my friends posted something that I didn't know about. I know all about butt breaking, but she said that the slave owners would have the men wear their pants beneath their butts to show that they.
And because you got to have something loose in a sense to hold it in that place. The pants aren't designed to stay below. Right? A young man that was with me saw the man who shot me. He started heading towards this nigga, and his pants fell all the way down around his neck.
Oh my God!
And I know what the belt is for. I have a hypothesis of what the belt is for. I know how to take it off and use it as a weapon. Running and putting the belt on at the same time. The belt is for holding up tools, not even necessarily holding up your pants. Belts is so 19th century, goddammit. You know what I'm saying? We can make pants that fit, but a belt is for tools. The belt was originally for a sword, for a blade. It's to hold stuff on your waist, not to hold up your goddamn pants.
Ironically, the gentleman of the picture that you posted, he has a belt on.
Yeah, I mean usually they do.
He has a belt on.
And it's tied around. It's tied. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You better jump in, man. You know you can't. Go ahead.
No, I just was really listening for real. Because I guess I got my own perspective. I don't necessarily condemn sagging. I sag sometimes. You know what I mean? It's just it depends on my mood. Honestly, it's for the reason I had to inject now.
You intentionally pull your pants underneath your buttocks.
Not under my butt, but I don't necessarily wear my pants at
On
my
your
waist.
Yeah,
I'm going to think like this. If you see my pants around my waist, I probably got a pistol. See?
Are people able to see your undergarments?
Poor. I didn't always. My mom would buy my pants too big, so I could grow into them. So I'm starting to learn how to like really know what it even felt like to have pants that felt. I never got comfortable with that. I never really wearing pants that fit differently or less than adequately. That's kind of just my comfort zone, and it has to grow.
Wow.
So while I do understand, I'm not going to necessarily. I do like how can you know that to where you maybe even know. I don't know if you ever just noticed and just chose not to say nothing, or it's either that or it just was never.
I remember getting pants too big. You know what I'm saying? But I did have a belt. But these belts that they make are very cheap now, and they're not comfortable with my ass out. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, yo, you know, to Ely. I mean, really, because I'm going to tell you, I mean, Lady J, do you know that everything that a man do, damn near?
I agree. And you see that I said that.
Right. And you said that in there.
Men will pull up their pants.
Right.
And I don't think that when I was young, I despised sagging the way I do now because the pants keep getting lower. And now with the underneath your buttocks, and you know your shirt is short. And so and like I said, I did some research. I've never witnessed a man in a respectable position.
Well, usually, now hold on.
When I hear somebody say, when I hear a black person say,
respect our own doctor.
Get to the point, baby.
Going to our own attorney, i.e. having a
lot of shit. A rich nobleman once opened the theaters without charge to the people and gave the right hand of the so-called noble. The so-called people that have their mind off the fact that their taxes have went up, keep their mind, always keep. This is a for me, this is a definite view of what goes on with the masses. With Gina, all types of shit is happening to us. But Shaka, you ain't had nothing to you ain't.
I'm listening in, man. I'm
kind of. It was like as if he was making a statement. Excuse me, that was
ring as well.
Never heard come out of any sport